Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here for a very different video. Completely out of my comfort zone. We're making a tier list. So, right out of the gate, this video is pretty much not sponsored by, but a lot of this goes to Mr. Corona, who is a viewer of mine. He's been here for a very long time. Man's awesome. He suggested, hey, you should make a tier list video. I'm like, that's a pretty solid idea. And he's like, I already made the tier list. Here you go. Gave me his blessing. Massive shout-outs to him. Tip of the cap, round of applause. This video is all because of him. I'm just the person that's going to speak about the players, but he had so much to do with it. I loved the idea. He actually went the extra mile, right? He made a hitter's one and a pitcher's one. So there's two different tier lists. So I'm probably going to be able to make two videos out of this, right? Tonight's going to be hitters. Soon I'm going to make one for the pitchers. But again, Mr. Corona, thank you for the tier list. Thank you for the recommendation. Can't shout him out enough. So, without further ado, let's get it started. Simple enough. You guys all know how tier lists work by now. You got elite, all-star, good, needs more improvement, and should try a different sport. I love that he worded it like that. I absolutely adore that tier. All right. First player up. Jose Siri. Easy enough. Good player. He was solid. This season, very, very short sample size, but if you look at that short sample size, he was absolutely bananas. Granted, only 26 games, but he was just insanely good. Over a 150 WRC plus, I believe, in his short little stint. He was good, man. Defensively, also very good. Insane speed. I'm excited to see him develop going in the future. Very good player. I was ecstatic with his season, as short as it was. Might be a Rookie of the Year candidate for next year. What's to say? Next up. Michael Brantley, all-star, easily. Michael Brantley, I've called him this before, is the human metronome. He's always going to bat over 300. Again, batting average is the whole thing, but always going to be around a 300 batting average, like a 360 to 370 OBP with good enough defense. He is a perennial all-star. Michael Brantley is just an easy layup for the all-star category. Miles Straw is a tough one because certain numbers really don't agree with Miles Straw. Things like WRC Plus tend to kind of rank him lower than you might imagine. This year, well over league average in on-base percentage. Rocked a 340 with the Astros, but the lack of power drops him down a bit for WRC Plus numbers. I thought he had a fantastic year. Defensively, he was insane. I'm going to try to rank the players on both time with the Astros and other teams as much as I can. Miles Straw should have probably won the Gold Glove. Probably should have made the All-Star team. I'm putting him in the All-Star category. I think it's him or Michael Brantley. They're neck and neck for who is better. I think I'm going to leave it as Brantley and Straw in this order, but it's a coin flip, and you could honestly debate that Straw could be ahead of Michael Brantley in this. I'm just going to leave it Brantley as Straw. But, man, he had a very good season, and I like Phil Maton a lot. But given how insane he was defensively, you might regret that a little bit going forward. But the time will tell for that. Next up, Kyle Tucker. Elite. No question. One of the best hitters league-wide in expected numbers and practical numbers. Defensively was insane. A 5-tool player. Around like a 147, I believe, was his WRC+. I just got done making the awards video, so I know exactly. I have his numbers memorized. He was insane. 30 home runs. Kyle Tucker had a crazy good season. Easily the elite. And I think he's the best player on the team this past season. That's where I'm going to put him. I will also say this. For each rank, when there are multiple players, I will put them in order left to right of who was better than who. So I will actually have a full readout of my entire ranking of the team by the end of this. Next up, Yordan Alvarez. Easy all-star. His hitting was insane. And, granted, Straw and Brantley, hey, maybe they give more value to a team because they have the defensive numbers. They provide, more innings out there. Don't care. Yordan Alvarez, one of the best designated hitters in the league. He's second to Ohtani. That's it. It's him and Ohtani are the top two. He's insane. Another elite hitting season. Took a bit of a dip in productivity from his rookie season, but given that his rookie season was one of the best, 80 game stretches by an Astro period, I'm not going to complain too much. Still a magnificent year. I can't wait for him to have a whole healthy season next year. Maybe playing some more of the field. Maybe play him a little bit at first. Who's to say? But man, Yordan Alvarez, insanely good, easily in the All-Star tier. Yuli Gurriel. This is a tough one. I'm going to put him behind Yordan, but ahead of Brantley and Straw. Won a Gold Glove. You can debate. Some defensive numbers say he shouldn't have maybe won it. I'm very mixed. I think first base is a position where defensive numbers, outs above average, DRS, I think it's kind of hard to use for first base, just given how weird the position is. I think a lot of it should be on the eye test. He passed the eye test. I still am going to put Yordan ahead of him, but it's really close. It's 1A, 1B type thing. Both had very nice seasons, but Yuli's going to go there for right now. Next up, Jake Myers. Good category. I'm going to put Jake Myers ahead of Siri just because of the time played, right? Siri had, I have the numbers, 35 games, whereas Myers had 49. So he had a little bit more. I'm going to put it like that. You might get upset at me for doing it in that order, but that's how I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put Myers ahead of Siri just by a smidge, but I think it's really close. He had a fine season. Solid defensively. Solid offensively. Okay. Maro Gonzalez. I'm going to put him in the needs more improvement. He was fine. Not really much to talk about with Marwyn Gonzalez. Just sort of a ho-hum season, I guess you would say, with the Astros. You know, a 76 OPS plus. Not the best. But he did his job. He had a couple of nice home runs with the Astros, a couple of clutch ones. I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife defensively, so I'm going to put him there. I'm not going to put him in the should try a different sport. That's going to be reserved for a few people. So, next, Chaz Mccormick. Another good player. And I sort of had this thought as I look at all of the players being in good and all-star categories. I'm like, man, I think I'm putting a lot up there, you know. I don't know if I'm being fair, if I'm being a little biased. And then I kind of remembered we had the best offense league-wide. It kind of makes sense that most of our players are either good, all-star, or elite. Chaz Mccormick, very solid season. Great defensively. Fine offensively. Sort of, I can see him really being a Kevin Kiermaier type player. I was excited with what I saw from Chaz Mccormick. I'm excited to see Chazzy Fizz going forward. I'm going to put him in good. Alex Bregman. Man, oh man, oh man. This one is tough. I'm going to put him behind Chaz. Because offensively, they're pretty close. Bregman had a shortened season with some injuries. Only 91 games. Chaz actually played more than him games-wise. Offense is close. Chaz was insane defensively. I hate putting Bregman this low, but I can't argue anyone that he'd be better than at this point. I think good is where he's going to stand right now. I really think we're going to get the old Bregman back next year, and if we do, it could be dangerous. Abraham Toro. So I'm going to put him down here, honestly. Much better than Marwyn Gonzalez, obviously. But Abraham Toro did not have like a crazy good season. 83 OPS plus with us. Didn't get a whole lot better with the Mariners. Ended up being around 90. So I might put him in the bottom of good tier. But it wasn't insane. A lot of people made fun of the Astros because, mostly Astros fans, because he traded him and then he homered twice against you in the next series. He was definitely an Astro killer, but he wasn't this insane player. Defensively, again, a bit to be desired. Not insane expected numbers, not insane practical numbers. He was just sort of fine. He was okay. It's tough for me to put him in either the very top of needs more improvement or the very bottom of good. I think I'm going to put him here for right now. I might move him up in a minute. I'll get to that. Next up, Jason Castro. I'm going to put him in the very top of good. And if he had more games and plate appearances, he'd be here. But I can't put him in All-Star because 84 games is just not 84. 66 games is just not enough for me to put him in the All-Star tier. I think it's really close, and he was so good offensively, pretty darn good defensively. I know there are a lot of Maldonado people that love and praise Martine Maldonado. I'm putting Castro in good. I I kind of thought he should have been the starting catcher last season. I really don't know why they weren't at least splitting time. If he would have had many more games, he'd be there. But as is, very top of good tier. And now we have a moral conundrum for me. We have Garrett Stubbs. And Garrett Stubbs this season had a .76 batting average, a .222 on base with 2 extra base hits, and a 26 OPS plus. And so I know in my heart where he should go, and I know in my head where he should go. But on account that we now no longer have Garrett Stubbs on our team, and he has now been sent off to the Phillies, I will not disrespect him or slander his name. And there is only one spot that Garrett Stubbs can go on this list. And you can argue with me if you want. I will not have it, nor will I take any Stubbs slander in the comment section. He is where he belongs. Next up, Carlos Correa. I'm going to put him right next to Kyle Tucker. I think it's those two neck and neck. They both had insanely good seasons. They were fantastic. Carlos Correa, amazing defensively, amazing offensively. I think Tucker barely edges him out, but not a shabby season by Correa at all. And was absolutely magnificent and deserves the elite tier. Next up, Robel Garcia. Enough said. So next up, Elena Diaz. I'm going to put him ahead of Maro Gonzalez, certainly. I think that's where he should go. Didn't play a ton. Obviously, he's the utility man. And he serves his purpose, right? And that's the thing. People will get mad at certain players across sports because they're not all-stars or they're not, these stud players. And, they're doing their job. Elena Diaz does what he's expected to do. He is a perfectly cromulent stopgap when the Astros need him to be. He's not, I'm not going to put him anywhere up here, but he's fine. He's in the needs more improvement tier. He's on the lower end, but that's okay. If he's one of the weaker links, you can easily get by. Next up, Martine Maldonado. You can be mad at me for putting him down here, and that's fine. We're adults and we can have the conversation. Offensively, did not crack a 60 WRC plus or OPS plus. Defensive numbers, framing metrics, Step by Baseball prospectus. They're not there. You can look at a plethora of different defensive numbers. I'm not just talking about defensive runs saved or outs above average. I'm looking at incredibly pitch or catcher-friendly numbers, and he's not an elite catcher by the numbers. You can say, well, Weston, he works so well with the pitchers, and I would say, okay, maybe he can calm them down. Maybe he's got, he can talk with the players well. I'm not going to deny that. But that is such an intangible. I can't grade off that. He's a good leader. I like Martine Maldonado's personality. I like the way he is on the team. I'd like him to continue being an Astro for a few more years. In a lesser role, I don't want him starting... How many games did he play this year? 125 games played this year for Martine Maldonado. I don't want him doing that ever again, unless the offense zooms through the roof. But I want him as the backup catcher. I'm perfectly fine with that. Him with McCullers as his personal catcher, I'm fine with. Him becoming a bench coach or a pitching coach or bullpen or maybe even way down the line a manager, I'm all in. That was an idea brought up. I forget who brought that up during the live streams, but I'm all in on that idea, right? I like Martine Maldonado. But by the numbers, I can't really put him ahead of anyone. And I'm sorry that it has to be that way. Because, again, I like Martine Maldonado. But, man, the numbers are just not there. Taylor Jones, I'm going to put right here. And I don't mean to crap on Taylor Jones. Because maybe he has promise. I'm not really sure. He's such a wild card to look at, honestly. I still haven't figured out if he's got good promise or not. He just sort of keeps vibing around with the team. Makes an appearance here and there. And is sort of meh when he does. It wasn't too impressive. I'm putting him very low. Jose Altuve. Definitely in the All-Star category. I think I'm going to put him... I'm going to put him at the top of All-Star. I'm going to put him here. And I think you could debate him going into the elite tier. See, now it's decision time. Do I want to put him in the bottom of elite, or do I want to put him in the top of all-star? Because here's my thing, right? He's better than Marwyn Alvarez. Because the offensive numbers are virtually the same. Like, I have it. I'm going to pull it up. I have it pulled up here. Altuve was a 127 OPS plus. Jordan was a 136. So they're very close offensively. But my thing is, I don't like using defensive metrics to, like, degrade a defense or, like, a designated hitter if the person's defense is bad, right? Like, the debate a couple years back of Jordan versus Vladdy for Rookie of the Year, and people were going, well, Vlad should win it because he plays defense. It's like, yes, he did play defense incredibly poorly. I don't think that counts for anything. But Altuve was elite defensively. And one of the best defensive shorts or second basemen in the league. So he's definitely ahead of Jordan, and I'm going to put him in the bottom of elite. I'm going to put him there. I might be a little bit biased. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably a little bit biased for the entire list because it's my team, but I'm going to put him at the bottom of elite. And I think I am pretty happy with that list. I am pretty happy with that ranking. I'm going to call it content. So in order, I have Tucker, Correa, Altuve, Jordan, Yuli, Brantley, Straw, Castro, McCormick, Breggs, Myers, Siri, Toro, Elena Diaz, Marwyn Gonzalez, Maldonado, Taylor Jones, and you barely even deserve to be on the list, man. I'm pretty content with that. Again, before I close this out, massive thank you and shout out to Mr. Corona, who helped a lot with this video. Caps off to you, man. I'll again sing your praises when I do make the picture version of this video, which will probably be in a few days from now. And yeah, this was out of my comfort zone. I've not really done anything like this before. It was a ton of fun to make and do. I had a ball. So, that is all I have to say. If you did, by the way, enjoy this and want me to do similar things like this, more tier lists outside of just the Astros hitters and pitchers, and maybe into hockey and baseball or football, who's to say, or maybe even a league-wide thing. That'd be interesting to do. Let me know. I'm interested. I had a lot of fun doing it. I might anyway, just to do it. But that's it. That's it. That's all I got to say for the video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.